Arsenal have started with a win in a tricky game against a defensive Forest. Mikel Arteta's men pull through. So from the brilliance of Bukayo Saka to the performance of Declan Rice and Mikel Arteta's attacking evolution, as per, let's break it all down and discuss the 5 things we learned from Arsenal 2, Nottingham Forest 1. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Babs14, welcome back to your boys channel, and I know you guys are doing sensational after the opening day victory. So as per, smash a like on the video if you enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and help your boy as we're trying to reach 200,000 subscribers. But starting off with the superstar Bukayo, the Arsenal star boy, the Arsenal official man of the match. In this game, Bukayo Saka sent out a reminder. You go back to the day prior, Erling Haaland scoring 2 fantastic goals against Burnley. The entire league on notice. You just know Bukayo Saka had to have his own say. An 8.2 overall rating. 1 goal scored from 2 shots on target, 1 off target. 83 touches, 47 accurate passes, 3 key passes, 6 ground balls won. We need to talk about Bukayo Saka's ball striking. To score a goal from a 0.04 XG, a 4% chance of the ball going in. The way that Bukayo Saka has evolved is so scary. Cutting inside like he was prime Iron Robin. The arrogance of a superstar. Bukayo Saka is getting to that stage of his career where he knows that he is that good. Look at Kai Havertz's reaction. This guy couldn't believe it. This is becoming more and more of a regular Bukayo Saka occurrence. Think about the postseason and his goals for England. Last year, the goal against Man United. It's no longer just about being the best young player in the league. Bukayo Saka wants to be up there with the very best. We are talking the likes of Mo Salah as the best right winger in the Premier League. As Rio Ferdinand says, this kid is the real deal. He is telling people last season was no fluke, that I'm here to stay, and I am going to be putting my name up alongside the greatest of this football club. With Arsenal back in the Champions League, Bukayo has a brand new stage to shine on. This is the year that he is going to get even more credit, and people will truly realise how special he actually is. What's scary is the fact that he's still only 21 years of age. Saka says after the game, I have a lot to improve. I think dealing with different games, like for example playing against a 2v1, how am I going to manage myself? I think other games where I don't have a lot of shots, like even today versus Forest, I don't think I had a lot of shots. I want to leave the game with more shots, because then I have more chance of scoring. Then of course my right foot, my heading. There are lots of things to improve. We are not just talking about a top footballer here, but also a top professional. To be this mature at this age is not normal. The way that he is raising his level every single year, without fail, this guy is reaching another level. Then you had the left hand side and the all-action Gabriel Martinelli. A 7.1 overall rating with 1 assist, 19 total duels, 8 times possession won, 6 aerial duels, 4 dribbles and 3 chances created. The assist sums up Martinelli as a player. His style isn't orthodox, but he always finds a way. What stands out to me though is something different. We are talking about the work rate. Have a look at this stat here. In terms of recoveries, Gabriel Martinelli was the highest player on the entire pitch. Arsenal have something very unique on their hands. Saka and Martinelli are not just top players, but also top professionals. Players that work so hard consistently. They fight for their team, they set the example. That's where they have the potential of becoming mentality monsters. In the current age of football, you need to have discipline. These guys have that in abundance. 15 goals in the league last year. How many goals is Gabriel Martinelli going to score this season? Moving on to the second thing, Arteta's new formation. Going into this game, there was a massive surprise. The lineups came out and there was no Gabriel Maguire. Thomas Partey is the inverted right back. Ben White and Saliba as the centre backs. As Kai confirmed, Gabriel has been left out today for tactical reasons. There is no injury. This was the first time that Gabriel Maguire has not been named in a Premier League starting 11 for Arsenal since August 2021, ending a run of 73 consecutive league starts for the Gunners. Mikel Arteta is becoming unpredictable. Notice how in every single game in pre-season, he has changed the starting 11 in some way. Arsenal have a massive squad. Arteta has more options than ever before. There is a clear evolution from last season. Arsenal had a go-to starting 11 and that wouldn't change. This year it's all about having tactical diversity. Arsenal want to have different ways of winning, because that makes it that much more difficult for the opposition teams to prepare. In this game, we saw Arteta go for a 3-1-6 formation. Timber, Saliba and Ben White forming a back 3. Thomas Partey moving into midfield. Then Rice going into the final third and making a front 6. In terms of the stats, Arsenal had 78% possession, 781 passes, 86 final third entries and a 3.5 expected threat created. Arsenal had so much dominance, but not quite in terms of XG, only making a 0.79. to Nottingham Forest's 1.25. There's obvious reasons behind this. Forest were playing a very deep defence, meaning inside their box, there was a real lack of space to make massive chances. Arsenal had to be even more aggressive, and that left space in behind their defence. That's why Forest had the better chances. I'm not too concerned though. Have a look at the field tilt. Arsenal had 80% in total. In the first half, it was wave after wave of pressure. That is so important because Mikel Arteta wants to build a team full of control. He understands the best way of winning games and the most consistent at creating chances. It's all about sustaining pressure. Tactically, Arsenal were able to get into the right positions. That's where we need to be even more punchy. The likes of Odegaard and Havertz need to be more decisive. A lot of the ball in the final third, but not a lot of risk taking. At times, Arsenal were too safe. The 3-1-6 though was very interesting. I see the signs of where this could be working. It's all about maxing the profile of Bukayo Havertz, who excels at movement in between the lines. Here was his overall performance, a 7.2 rating. In 90 minutes he had 69 touches, 47 accurate passes, 2 key passes, 2 accurate long balls, and 5 ground balls won. I think Havertz is a victim of his own body language. The fact that he's so relaxed and so calm, people will often confuse him as not hard working. Despite him being a very successful presser, very good at winning second balls, there are obvious areas for improvement. I want to see Havertz being more aggressive with his actions. He's able to receive the ball in great positions, but it's all about maximising that opportunity. He also needs to be more vocal. The amount of times that he makes the best run possible, yet doesn't receive the ball. Havertz needs to demand the ball more often, but the other Arsenal players also need to understand his game and when to find him. Havertz has a lot of natural in-game intelligence. I see signs of what Mikel Arteta sees, but £65 million is the fee that Arsenal paid, and that brings pressure. Talk to me down below in the comments, and in terms of positions, where do you think is the best role for Kai Havertz in this Arsenal team? Moving on to the third thing, Arsenal's defensive machine. Declan Rice's Premier League debut for Arsenal, and let's just say it didn't disappoint. A 7.5 overall rating in 90 minutes, 104 touches, 84 accurate passes at a 92% passing accuracy, 2 long balls completed, and 5 ground balls won. He hit the post, he could have easily scored a goal, but for me what stands out straight away, this guy's heat map, and it is crazy. Playing as a number 6 but also moving into the final third, Rice was almost playing 3 different roles at the same time, showcasing his level of versatility, the ability to keep it simple in the build-up phase, helping Arsenal set the tempo, then the ability to arrive into the final third, find himself space in the box. That's a very good sign going into the future. If Rice is going to play as a number 8, be that Xhaka replacement, he is showing the ability to get into the goal-scoring positions. In the second half, we definitely saw a change. Mikel Arteta turned to more of a diamond midfield, with Havertz playing more as a number 10 and Rice as a left central midfielder. This is why Mikel Arteta is such a fan of Declan Rice. The fact that he excels in so many different areas allows Arsenal different ways of playing. What stands out to me is definitely his ball winning. With 4 out of 4 tackles every time he won the ball back, it's so clean, it's so precise. Arsenal were given elite transition control. That's why in that first half, Arsenal were able to sustain so much pressure. Every time Forest tried to counter, there was Declan Rice winning the ball back. This type of control is going to be so important, especially in the Champions League. With Rice, Havertz and Timber, what Arsenal have now is a different level of physicality. These guys excel at their dual winning. You also had a very intriguing performance from Thomas Partey. The heat map shows a player playing as a right back but also in midfield. It was an overall 7.5 rating, 2 interceptions, 2 tackles, 2 times dribbled past, 3 ground balls won, 116 touches, 96 accurate passes, 2 key passes, and 2 accurate long balls. For Thomas Partey to thrive, he needs to have Declan Rice and vice versa. These two complement each other's game, Rice being the more conservative passer and Partey being more aggressive. On the ball this works very well, but off the ball there is one obvious concern. Up against his wide forward, Partey definitely struggled, especially against Anthony Elanga. Partey does not excel defending wide spaces. That's why the system will only work in certain games. It's good to have the option, but next weekend against Crystal Palace we won't see it. Ben White will be back at right back, and Arsenal should return to the defensive best. Moving on to the fourth thing, underrated Nketiah. Mikel Arteta surprises once again with the inclusion of Eddie Nketiah. With Trossard on the bench, Havertz playing as a number 8, some fans weren't convinced, but Eddie's performance did all of the talking. A 7.5 rating, 73 minutes played, 1 goal scored, from a 0.21 xG, 1 shot on target, 2 off target, 15 out of 15 accurate passes, 2 ground balls won and 2 in the air. When Nketiah starts at the Emirates Stadium, he always seems to score. That's now 14 goals in his last 16 starts at the Emirates Stadium. This was a complete striker's performance and very impressive. His passing was very crisp and very clean. That makes it that much easier for the players to collect the ball. This was a real reminder from Eddie Nketiah, showing the Arsenal fans that he deserves more respect. I do believe Eddie is somewhat underrated. Every time he starts in a full starting 11, he's always playing to prove a point. As Mikel Arteta said after the game on Nketiah scoring, "I'm delighted for him. He was so disappointed with the absence of Gabby and not to play in the final in the Community Shield. The way that he trained this week, he was telling me, Gaffer, if I don't play, you are blind." This is what I appreciate the most about Eddie Nketiah. His mentality has always been top. Never on the bench complaining. He's always a top pro in training and never giving up. We've seen it in glimpses in the Amazon documentary. Nketiah is a top person behind the scenes. Eddie is a natural fighter and he's always been there. We are now seeing an evolution. Gone are the days of being the skinny young striker from academy. Nketiah now has presence. Provide Arsenal an outlet, get the ball into the final third. The next step for Eddie is very obvious. He needs to be on the score sheet more often. That's where strikers always get their ratings. He needs to be aiming for double figures this season. We've also got to talk about the performance of Arsenal's super sub off the bench, Leandro Torreira. In 17 minutes off the bench, 1 successful dribble, 7 accurate passes, 1 key pass, 2 out of 2 ground duels. Every time this guy plays, he always impresses me. Natural technical ability in tight spaces. Then the burst of speed to take it past the core and get Arsenal up the pitch. It's only a matter of time before Trossard breaks into the Arsenal starting lineup. His technical ability is off the charts. Playing deep blocks where there's not much space, Trossard can play in so many different areas. The fact that we have a quality of this player to come off the Arsenal bench, the likes of Smith Rowe and Fabio Vieira not even used, a sign of how far Arsenal have come. These guys are all fighting it out in training. It's all about making Arsenal an even more competitive environment. The first teamers can't get comfortable. Not when you've got the likes of Leandro Torreira sitting on the Arsenal bench. Moving on to the 5th thing, room for improvement. This may have not been an emphatic victory, but it was one that was very important. Only the 3rd time that Arsenal won an opening day game at home, out of the last 7 attempts. In that first half, we were given an opportunity to kill the game off. That's where I want to see Arsenal become even more ruthless. You look at Man City and what they do so well. They always capitalise when they're on top. This Arsenal team at times can be naive, taking things for granted and taking their foot off the gas. We saw it last year in the games against West Ham. 2-0 is never a safe scoreline. In the Premier League, momentum is a game changer, and once Forest scored their goal, the way the entire pace of the game changed. What I loved so much about this game was how the fans responded. After Arsenal conceded, there was no heads down. The fans were even louder, supporting the team, getting them over the line. The defense needs to improve though. We gave away too many chances in this game. That's where Mikel Arteta needs to make the right adjustments. Arsenal have a lot of top defenders. This is not an issue of personnel. But I don't want to see any overreactions. I understand that it was not a perfect performance. Some fans may have wanted a 5-0 victory, especially after City's win against Burnley. The reason why I'm not concerned is because Arsenal are not far off. Minor problems that Mikel Arteta will definitely fix. The first game of the season is all about the 3 points. It was also very important that Arsenal held on to the 2-0 lead, especially after last year, the West Ham and Liverpool games. The next step for Mikel Arteta is to find the right balance. On the right hand side, Arsenal have it perfect. Odegaard, Ben White and Saka have a natural chemistry. On the left hand side, things are still growing, and that's where we need to be patient. Rice and Havertz will grow as they play together more often. On the left hand side though, what is happening with Yuri and Timber? Mikel Arteta says, the physios and doctors looked at him and were happy to continue. Straight away in the second half, he made a movement and it felt funny. We will have to assess him. Timber was very important for Arsenal, especially in terms of control. He gives Arsenal so much composure on the left hand side. He's got that elite level of ball security. Tomiyasu came on as left back, he was alright, but Arsenal will soon have Alexander Zinchenko back. I'm not concerned about the left hand side. What did you guys make of the opening day victory? And what changes do you believe Mikel Arteta needs to make going into the future? That is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all other social medias, then the links are down below in the description. That was the 5 things we learned from Arsenal 2, Nottingham Forest 1, an opening day victory, and that's all that matters. And now we go to Crystal Palace, where things will get even more interesting. So I will see you next time. Take care and in a bit.